An easterly wind swept across Breiðafjörður with the break of dawn, and a sharp spring breeze intensified the foam of the waves breaking on the strait between the western isles. A determined puffin flew low, skimming the surface of the waves at high speed, and an inquisitive sea raven stretched its wings on a reef. Black guillemots plunged into the ocean, while knowing seagulls circled the air high above, scanning the horizon for food. The whole of creation in the fjord was ablaze with life and alertness in the glaring morning sun. A small but sturdy motorboat tackled the choppy waves and moved away from the island of Flatey toward the south. The small vessel was a converted old rowboat and tarred in black, with its name painted on the stern in large white letters, Raven. It carried a crew of 3, a young boy, a grown man, and another who was considerably older. 3 generations from a small croft called Istakot on the western corner of the island of Flatey. Jón Ferdinand, the eldest, sat at the stern steering. White stubble sprouted from his hollow face, and black snuff trickled out of his wide nostrils. Some tufts of gray hair spilled out of his old peaked cap, groping for his face in the wind. His big and raw-boned hand held the tiller as the old eyes under his bushy eyebrows searched for a little island in the south. It wasn't such an easy course to sail, even though the visibility was good. Islets and skerries were scattered across the horizon before the mainland, beyond which lay the Dalafjall Mountains in the blue dusk. Jón Ferdinand steered the boat head-on against the largest waves, but held his course in the gaps between them. It was a small vessel, so it could be unpleasant if the waves hit the side of the boat directly. But the old man sailed by his instincts and seemed to enjoy this duel with the sea. Gudfelder, the steersman's son, sat on the thwart in front of the engine bay, smoking a pipe and sharpening a large pocket-knife. Bareheaded in a thick woolen sweater, he turned away with his pipe to avoid the spray of the waves that occasionally splashed over the gunwale. He had a weather-beaten face and a rugged expression and was blind in his left eye following an injury to the eyeball that had whitened as it healed. The other eye was pitch black. Gudfelder was named after a long-dead ancestor who had visited his mother in a dream, but locals normally just called him Valdi and associated him with the croft of Istakot in Flatey. A freak high wave broke over the boat, splashing the curly hair on the back of Valdi's neck. He looked up and scanned ahead. "Careful, Dad," he barked. "Don't forget, it's Kettlesay we're going to. You're heading too far south." The old man smiled, flashing his few yellow teeth and raw gums. Too far south, he repeated in his husky voice, turning the boat against the wave, and Valdi resumed smoking his pipe and fiddling with his knife once he saw they were back on course again. Little Nodny Gudfeldsen sat on a folded sail at the bow, clinging to the gunwale with both hands. He was feeling cold and seasick, and although he was well used to the sea and didn't normally allow the chill and queasiness to get to him, this was worse than usual because of his urgent, unseamanlike need to empty his bowels. Nodny had been late that morning and forgot to visit the outhouse before they left. He made no mention of this to his father because Valdi would have just told him to squat over the gunwale and do it right there. The boy didn't fancy that in these rough waters. Every now and then he stretched his head over the stern to see if they were drawing any closer to their destination, but the boat seemed to be taking forever.